Knucklehead Nation, knuckle up. That is the 10 count for the great, the one and only Muhammad Ali, who left this world today and left a legacy that will be remembered for eternity. I'm Joey El Gallo. You're listening to Loaded Gloves, broadcasting from the Loaded Glove Studios in Lower Manhattan. I'm here with the one and only Fight Genie, Tommy.
Rest in peace to the greatest, the GOAT, Muhammad Ali.
As you know, Knucklehead Nation, losing any boxer is sad, any fighter. But Muhammad Ali was someone that transcended sport, and he was the first, I think, really mega star. Everyone knows the Muhammad Ali story. Everyone probably has a Muhammad Ali story. So we just want to do that 10 count, Knucklehead Nation. We've got over 4,000 likes on the post. Check out our Facebook, Loaded Gloves on Facebook. Leave your comments, your well wishes, your prayers. That's what everybody's doing. So thank you very much for that. One quick story I'll say about Muhammad Ali is when he was a kid, he asked Sugar Ray Robinson for his autograph, and Sugar Ray Robinson turned him down. Think about that. Like, Muhammad Ali as a kid asking for Sugar Ray Robinson's autograph in the world, in the universe. You have no idea. Muhammad Ali, he's a kid. He's Cassius Clay. No one has any idea of what he's going to become except for maybe him. And then you have Sugar Ray Robinson having no idea that he's turning down an autograph for Muhammad Ali. And so Muhammad Ali never forget getting turned down, and he always signed an autograph for anyone. A friend of mine saw him at an airport, and he had a layover. The flight was delayed, and he asked him for an autograph, and he said, "I'll do something better." Came back to him in 45 minutes, had drawn him a cartoon and personalized it to him. Yeah, he would do that kind of stuff. So after getting turned down from the autograph, he said, as a kid, I will never deny someone an autograph again. He went so far as to set up a P.O. box specifically for autograph seekers. So, you know what? It was a little before, it was way before my time, but I understand his impact. But, it kind of reminds me of another legendary athlete and human being, Yogi Berra. Because as New Yorkers, everybody has a Yogi Berra story. And I feel like they just transcended sports, because you don't really remember what Yogi did on the field. You know what I mean?
Well, I think it was Layla Ali that said that he got more fan mail in the last 10 years than he did when he was fighting.
Yeah.
So, that's transcending the sport right there. That's crazy. My first fight I remember watching televised was with my dad, and it was when Muhammad Ali fought Antonio Inoki, the Japanese guy, and the guy laid on the floor the whole fight trying to kick him in the it was like an exhibition. And he laid on the floor, and every time he stood up, Ali would hit him, so he'd go back down and lay on the floor and kick him. So that was really obviously the predecessor to your MMA versus boxing discussion, because that was crazy. I remember that. I was like, Dad, why is the other guy laying on the floor kicking him? And he was like, I don't know, I've never seen anything like this. But that's, if it's the first fight I remember seeing. So everybody remembers something about Muhammad Ali.
And then, we have the great Amnat now tackling people across the ring. So he kind of, that tackling
we
thing.
We can't segue from Ali to Amnat, but alphabetically we can. But that's... But yeah.
But listen, but actually, think about it. Muhammad Ali, and as crazy as it sounds, Amnat, they both inspire millions of people. So think about the impact boxers have on the human race. You don't see, except for Floyd Mayweather, and I say this all the time, these fighters have an incredible impact on the world, and like nobody else. So people can say boxing's dead, this and that. Yes, a legend has died, but what other transcendent athletes from other sports other than, some soccer players and Michael Jordan can you think of? I mean,
like Tiger Woods was, and then, he started cheating on his wife, getting run over by cars, and being an idiot. Same thing, I'll tell you. Same thing with Lance Armstrong.
Yeah, Lance Armstrong was another one.
He had transcended the sport, and then he cheated.
Yeah,
cancer, and everybody was lifting him on their shoulders, and then you find out...
And wearing the wristbands. You had the entire world
Live Strong.
Wearing a yellow Live Strong bracelet.
And then you find out that he cheated. You never found out Muhammad Ali never did anything like that. Never. He came into the ring.
He had a lot of women.
Oh, but he never... I don't mean cheated like that. I mean, Lance Armstrong cheated the sport.
I don't know.
He cheated the sport.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. You never heard of that with
the women. It just comes with the job.
It's like a cost of doing business. I'm not going to hate on a guy for that.
If they're having too much women, they don't fight well.
And Muhammad Ali, there was that great movie that came out, in the late 90s, Ali.
Will Smith.
Will Smith did a great job in that movie.
He did. It's so strange. Boxing makes no sense right now because it sells out in England. It sells out in Japan. It sells out in Australia. You can't get a seat in the house in Mexico. You come to the United States, it doesn't sell out, but they make boxing movies every year, and it's the #1 grossing movie of the year, or like in the top 5. So, what's the deal?
I don't get it either. I think about that all
this
the
year
time.
you've had 2.
Well,
they 3.
Well, Hands of Stone hasn't come out
but
yet.
I'm saying in the span of a year, you've had
Rocky,
Southpaw, where the poster was he was fighting righty. So we won't even address that one. He was standing right-handed in the movie poster, and the movie's called Southpaw. Good marketing to the movie studio. Then you had Creed, and then you had now you got Hands of Stone coming out. So, and there'll be more because they're already making a second Creed because it did so good.
I don't get it either. It's like in pop culture, boxing. You see people running around Manhattan with Muhammad Ali T-shirts, and by the way, shout out to Diego De La Hoya. We are rocking Diego De La Hoya hats. I got the black snapback with the gold. Tommy the Genie is wearing the Diego De La Hoya T-shirt with the golden boy on the sleeve, with Diego De La Hoya's initials in purple, which is awesome. And on the back, he's got the his call sign. Mm-hmm. So, it's funny though. Boxing's all over pop culture, but yet people are quick to say it's dead.
Only here.
Only here. You're right.
In England,
only in the US.
They're actually saying this is the boxing revolution that they've been waiting for 30, 40 years. They're saying this is it. Boxing's now at a peak. You're hearing from one side of the ocean them saying, this is crazy. We've got all these champions. Everyone wants to turn pro now. Everyone wants to fight on TV. The arena's a mob. The crowds are great. And then you come to the United States and they're saying, well, what do we got to do to sell tickets? It's absurd.
Yeah, has
a lot to do with the promoting.
Oh, the promoters are the worst. You see the promoters in England, Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn cracks a beer and chugs it before his interview after a big fight.
Yeah, and they hate him, too.
Oh, come on. Look at Cleverly. Not so cleverly. Bello.
Tony Bello?
I bring... Every month you have a Crolla, you have a Flanagan, you have a Ricky Burns, you have a Tony Bello.
Yeah, by the way, shout out to him, man. That's the real Rocky. He's in a Rocky movie, and he just won a title. In case you don't know who he is, he was the guy that Creed fought. Ricky Conlon, I believe his name was in Creed, at the end of the movie, and he's a real fighter, and he's good.
And he just won, and I literally...
Crying at the end of the fight.
I cry at the end of the fights because they're like a mini movie.
Yeah,
it's like a mini series
between the Crolla, Ricky Burns, and Bellew fight. It's like a trilogy of. It's like the Notebook. It's so sad. I can't. I want to hug the TV at the end and embrace these guys. They're not taking selfies. We're not going back to that one. Right. But they're not doing stupid stuff in the ring. They're not.
And they're calling out the next guy, and it's just all heart and emotion.
Yeah, I think if somebody had the balls to sign fights maybe in Mexico, maybe somebody bucks up and builds a nice fight arena and PBC or Golden Boy's willing to stage HBO or pay-per-view cards down there, you'd see the same thing because those fans would be crazy. the Belasco Theater every single time they have a fight. Last night, Meta World Peace is calling the fights. The celebrities have been showing up out there.
Yeah.
Somebody big was out there like a couple weeks ago. You had called me to tell me. I can't remember who was in the crowd.
Well,
but,
I mean,
but that's what it is. It's promoting.
And, Oscar's done a great job in California because he snaps up every
Oscar's
prospect.
done a great job with everything
Except for Canelo.
Canelo, yeah. That's crazy. It doesn't make any sense.
But I don't think Canelo wants to fight Triple G. But you know what? This is, it's just boxing is life. Life is boxing. It's just all...
Yeah, I mean...
We got to go to Europe one of these days. We
I
gotta
have
get out
to go,
there.
man.
We have to.
I mean...
our luck, we'll get out there and it'll be a dud. We won't see the Ricky Burns story or the...
We may not talk about him enough, but I give Jesse Vargas...
Yeah.
He's got brass cojones, man. That man just will fight anybody, anywhere. And he said, you know what? No one wants to fight Kell Brook. I'll fight Kell Brook. I'll fly out there. Let's go. Let's do it.
You got cojones, man.
Come on. He's going out to fight Kell Brook, man. And all these other guys are like, man, has anyone... They should put a tracking device on Danny Garcia.
Yeah,
I don't even know if he's like in the... Is he missing?
I know where he is.
I think he's on a milk carton somewhere. Have you seen Danny Garcia?
If you put a tracking device in Danny Garcia, it would be... He would go from the barbershop to the car wash back to the gym.
It's horrible. He's hiding. Bought a bigger bed. So
he's going to fight Berto. I mean, come on.
That's horrible.
All right, so...
That's the worst fight.
You listen to Loaded Gloves. We're broadcasting from the Loaded Gloves studios in Lower Manhattan. We're pumping 40K Facebook likes probably in the next month. So thank you to all Knucklehead Nation. We love you. Thanks for all our fans all over the world. Russia, the Philippines, the Mexicans. We love you all. We all love boxing and the fighters for all they do. There's a guy coming up, all right, that you turned me on to. And I don't know if you were going to talk about this later.
Would his first name be Richard? Is that who we're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. His name is Richard.
And he was ringside for the hilarious fight we saw last night versus Rancis Bartholomew, who looks like he's prancing. He is the most awkward. So
yeah, but he's cool.
He's cool. I like him a lot, and he's
Slick,
doing a lot
man.
he's slick. So last night was Rancis Bartholomew defended his IBF title versus Mickey Bay, who one judge had it 117 to 110. How does that happen?
Last night, the Lawrence Cole Judge of Shame, Referee of Shame Awards goes to, what was his name again?
Mickey Bay.
No, what was the judge's name again last night that messed that one up?
Oh, Harold.
No, it's not Harold.
Hilton Whitaker.
Hilton Whitaker.
You are a disgrace, Hilton Whitaker.
Hilton Whitaker.
Another disgrace of boxing.
But we'll get back to him. Let's go the fight. Let's talk about that fight last night.
I thought,
let's go back to Rich. Big Rich. Let's talk about Richard, our friend Richard, because we're going to be talking about him a lot.
A lot. I think he's a new favorite of the show.
I think that we have, Ring Magazine, them have the pound for pound. We just have our guys we just love. And they may not be like, I'm not. But this is our... This is like, we're going to call it the I'm not pound for pound.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not pound for pound. That's
so
what it's
right.
called. The I'm not pound for pound by I'm not.
Well, everyone else seems to make up their own pound for
So
pound
our
list.
pound for pound, of course, is the head of it is I'm not.
I'm not's number one.
But now we have Richard
Wang Hang
Meniothin, knockout CP Freshmore. Guys that we just love because they're cool as hell. Joe Smith Jr. Guys who aren't ranked yet or maybe soon, like Diego. We love Diego.
We love Diego. We love
Diego's
Jojo Diaz. We love your man. You discovered. Let's get this out in the open
before it happens.
Do you want to?
No,
this?
You can do it.
So,
because it's going to happen by that prairie dog.
Prairie Dog Lampley tonight is going to claim he discovered El Camarón.
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
Julian Ramirez.
Julian Ramirez is fighting on the undercard tonight of the Vargas Salido fight on HBO. And when he knocks his guy out and wins, you're going to hear HBO, Jim Prairie Dog Lampley. You're going to hear Prairie Dog Lampley talk about how he discovered Julian El Camarón Ramirez, right?
Yes.
So we're putting it out there. The Genie did a Facebook about him. He's called the Fight Genie for a reason because he calls things 2 years before it happens. He called the Chris Algieri thing back on Valentine's Day in 2014. Okay? He called Joe Smith Jr. going out to fight Fonfara. Okay?
Tyson Fury.
He called Tyson Fury, the Fight Genie, my co-host. Tommy, Knucklehead Nation, the Fight Genie called Tyson Fury 2 years ago. Anthony Joshua, listen to the shows. Tommy the Genie called out Anthony Joshua that he would be a champion 2 years ago. Joseph Parker is another one.
Big Daddy.
So, we're telling you tonight, or whenever you hear this show, look at the tapes. Prairie Dog Lampley is going to say he discovered Julian Ramirez, just like he did Anthony Joshua. HBO is garbage. HB low.
Yes.
Garbage.
That message brought to you by National Coalition of Prairie Dogs. By the way, we call him Prairie Dog Lamp because look at his face and then do a sidebar and Google Prairie Dogs.
Oh.
He's looking weird. HBO's getting destroyed, by the way. Last night during that Bay fight, everybody was like saying on Twitter everybody was saying on the Ring TV thing and on the thing that Steve Kim should replace Kellerman on HBO because he sucks.
All
Steve
three
Kim's
of them
great,
sucks.
man.
Roy Jones Jr. Roy Jones Jr. We are in June. You know,
Sounds
it
like
is,
the rap battle.
You know, June. Roy Jones Jr.'s new name is Morgan Fitch. So if you listen to the show, Knucklehead Nation, from now on, we will not say the word Roy Jones Jr., the name. When you hear Roy Jones Jr.,
we will be referring to a fighter.
Morgan Fitch. So,
Morgan Fitch.
So, and when you're watching HBO tonight and you're eating your fruit roll-up and you got your ice-cold beer in your hand,
Bubblehead.
You're gonna think of Prairie Dog Bubblehead Lampley.
No, Prairie Dog.
Prairie
Bubblehead
Dog
is Kellerman.
Lampley. Yeah, okay. You're gonna be watching Prairie Dog Lampley, Bubblehead Kellerman, and Morgan Fitch. That is your HBO team, okay?
Yes.
That's why we love Showtime and Steven Espinosa. Steven, if you're listening, please listen. Give us a show.
But we have a show, but we want a daily show.
Give us a daily show because every sport, the sports business is on fire.
And crazy. There's people looking in the room here.
There is a daily hockey show, football show, every kind of sports show. It's 24 hours. But there is not a daily boxing show. And Steven, please, just look at all our stuff. We have so much of it.
We do.
So,
we have a nice
Knucklehead
wrestling.
Nation, get loud. We want a daily boxing show. We're going to program the whole thing.
Okay.
Where was I?
We're going to go back. We're going to take the
Comi.
We're going to take the DeLorean from Back to the Future. We're going to hit that flux capacitor and go back to Richard Comi, who is sitting in the crowd watching Mickey Bay and Francis Bartholomew throw heads, elbows, knees, and waist and hips at each other and just smiling because he knows he's the mandatory for that belt, so he'll be fighting Rancis. And Richard Comi, we already love you. By the way, we already posted about him, so when he starts fighting on HBO, Prairie Dog will be talking about Richard Comi. But Richard Comi is from Ghana.
Yeah, my favorite nation.
And he's from a small village in Ghana that, for some reason, this village, which is the size of like a shoebox, has put out almost 70% of the boxers from Ghana. It's just like a boxing town because it's the poorest, one of the poorest towns, and they just fight. And Azuma Nelson, who's like the greatest boxer ever to come out of it, he actually had a big fight at MSG against Salvador Sanchez. Is that the guy? The Mexican guy? And almost beat him. It went 15 rounds. And he's like a legend of Ghana. And Comi kind of is like idolizes him. But he's now fighting out of England. And he actually spars with
Liverpool, right?
Carl Frampton. He spars with Carl Frampton.
Jackal.
He spars with Ricky Burns, who we keep talking about. And he's ready. He's, for a lightweight, all these other lightweights we look at now, like last night, you're talking about guys with maybe a 20-30% KO rate. And Comi's got think he's 24 fights with 22 knockouts. And he's just smiling in the background last night, just waiting. He's waiting for a shot. He's been getting ducked. He keeps doing interviews saying he's been getting ducked. And it's his time now. And he's crazy. If you watch some of his videos where he dances with the ring girls at the end of the fight, swipes beers out of the hands of the fans and downs them in the crowd. The guy's badass, and we're looking forward to him. And it'll give us a whole new generation of fans from Ghana.
You know what?
We should have fans from Ghana because we've got fans now in 41 countries. 41. Some of them are like one guy. Like there's one guy in Denmark, like I said before, but there's some of them like, the Philippines. We have a lot.
Also, what's
Mexico.
great about Comi is, by the way, thank you for taking me on that magic carpet ride.
What magic carpet ride?
Yeah, you take me on your carpet to a new fighter, to a new land.
Well, yeah, we're going to take out the knucklehead jet.
The knucklehead
is going to go. We're going to pick everyone up, and we're going to take you on a trip. And we've taken you to the Philippines. We've taken you to Thailand a lot recently, actually, because we're obsessed with Thai fighters and food.
And
now we're going to travel to another continent and sit back, relax, put your seats in a relaxed position, and enjoy Richard Comi from Ghana.
That's what I'm talking about. Fire up the loaded glove jet.
Ghanaian.
Take it to Knucklehead Nation. That's right. Tommy the Fight Genie just said it. He's going to fire up the loaded gloves jet, and we're going to take you to Ghana, baby. And you know what? What I love about him, like you said, his knockout percentage is there.
It's crazy.
And, that's a busy, I look at like 126 to 135, or all those guys can fight each other because, the 126 guys, I feel like Lomachenko, Selby, Santa Cruz, Gary Russell can all move up to 130, and they will.
Oh, yeah.
Where you got Martinez, Pedraza, Corrales, and Vargas as champions. Then the lightweights, where Comi is, you got Flanagan's got the WBO, Bartholomew's got the IBF, Crolla has got the WBA, and the WBC's vacant, and Comi, it's just open for him. And you know what? He's got the potential to be like a Pacquiao. I see it.
And he started boxing late. He was a soccer player and a kickboxer.
He's a great dancer, too.
And
he dances after his fights. He dances with the ring girls. He has
you're right about that weight class. Except, I'll be honest with you. If he would have fought Mickey Bay would have won. That fight would be over in one round. Rancis is just awkward.
He's good, man.
He's long. He throws his head at you, his elbows.
Yeah, he's so long.
He's kind of like Bernard Hopkins. You kind of got to figure out the riddle.
Yeah.
But there's some. Listen, we don't talk enough sometimes about the American fighters. In lightweight, the Americans probably have two of their best prospects now with that Mayweather kid, Gervonta Davis,
Tank Davis,
and Robert Easter Jr.
He's good.
And they're good. And by the way, give Gervonta Davis credit yesterday because he knocked. It'd be the equivalent of knocking a guy out during the opening credits of a movie. They'll fight you if you blinked. He threw one punch, they're saying, and he knocked the guy out with one punch 44 seconds into the fight.
He hit him like around the ears.
That's Mayweather's best guy, and he's cool. Like when he does interviews, he's a good guy so far.
Mayweather,
Mayweather has
him. He's like a child.
Guys.
Treats him like a child. Well, he is.
He has some guys, Mayweather. He also has, Ashley, and he also has Mickey Bay. By the way, Mickey Bay now.
He's the worst.
He fights kind of like my least favorite cruiserweight, Isaiah Thomas. He tries to win by not throwing punches. So Mickey Bay, he knocked the guy down with a headbutt last night. I mean, that's the only way he was able to get him down. He doesn't punch. The most boring fight that me and Joey ever saw in the history of boxing, the undercard, was Mickey Bay again. Who was he?
He took the belt on that fight.
I fell asleep during that fight.
Was it Mayweather Maidana too?
Yeah. That was in 2014. That was that long ago.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah. That's crazy. But, yeah. So Mickey Bay learned how to punch. But let's travel back to the shores of Ghana. I don't know if there's shores in Ghana, by the way.
I have no idea.
Let's travel back to the world of Ghana. And Joey's in love with him now. Richard Comi is his name.
Richard Comi. Google him. He is the man. He's up and coming. He's there. He's won all the African titles.
Every
he's won
one of
British
them.
titles. And he's a great story. And thank you, Richard Comi, for stepping in the ring and doing what you do, because we here at Loaded Gloves and Knucklehead Nation appreciate you. What's up? I'm Joey El Gallo. El Gallo. You're listening to Loaded Gloves NYC, baby, broadcasting from the Loaded Glove Studios in Lower Manhattan. Thank you, Knucklehead Nation, for all the love. You can catch us on Facebook at The Loaded Gloves. I know, right? I keep wanting to correct myself, then I realize it doesn't matter because it's a show. It just keeps going on and on and on and on.
Yes.
Knucklehead Nation, we love you. Knuckle up, buckle up, save a kitten, save a stray. Knucklehead Nation, all the way. Some people call me El Gallo.
Yeah.
My mother told me I was a stray.
What? What's going on right now?
That's Tommy the Genie. He took you on his magic carpet ride to Ghana, baby. Richard Comi. He's where it's at. He's the Loaded Gloves #1 fighter. Pound for pound, baby. We out.